Hey, welcome back to Eclectic Soundtrax podcast. Skunk Manhattan here. Victor Ramos is not with us tonight, so I'm flying solo, and I've got all the way from New York City, Nikita Lev. Leave? How do you say that?
Lev. Just
Lev.
Lev looks, yeah.
So, New York City based indie songwriter and fashion model, and you've been building up a following just over the last few years here. You started writing songs pretty young. Sounds like you came from a musical household that had everything from classical chamber music to 90s alt rock, grunge, whatever. And I guess you were just sort of immersed in that, started writing songs. And here you are in your second. Well, you had your debut album came out after some singles. I think Elegance was your first single in 2023.
Yeah, that's right.
You had an album come out last year, and now you've got coming out here very soon, October 17th. You have your latest EP, which are two singles out, the latest of which is No One's Gonna, and that's going to be a 4-song EP. Is that correct?
Yeah, just four.
Cool. All right. So I tell you what, let's go back to the beginning. Tell us about what got you into music. You're from New York City. What part of New York City are you from?
I grew up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I don't know. It's very. I mean, you kind of said it. I grew up with my dad's side of the family. Cousins all played instruments. I don't know. I honestly think that if even if I didn't grow up in a musical environment, I probably would have ended up doing something in the arts or in music, like nevertheless, just because I mean, I'm just lucky that I got the exposure to it because um, I think it was going to be something I did anyway. But my mom was like in a band in the '90s and played around New York, and yeah, grew up with lots of classic rock influences and very various. I don't know. I got a comprehensive musical education from my parents.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, if your parents were that sort of the 90s, right? Gen X, I guess, kind of. Is that so? Yeah, so they kind of had that. I mean, that's like my generation of like there was this amazing time, I think, like the early 90s where like all this amazing music was in the mainstream, like kind of the end of that, like before the internet and Napster and all the streaming and everything. And
Yeah.
that, but it was everything from the grunge to I mean, the hair metal was hanging on by a thread. You still had the metal stuff like Metallica and all that, and that really came to the forefront. You had the grunge, hip hop. I mean, just everything was really great. So, but I see something about, so when your mom was in a band, okay, what is your or did she play? What did she do?
She was a singer. She was a singer and
Okay.
a writer in the band. And it like never, took off. It was just like she wasn't mostly an actor and, working in the city and all that stuff, but she like was in a band, and that artistic, I guess influence kind of
Hmm.
traveled through.
Did you have any, like when you were a kid, were there any favorite bands that you had like that your parents listened to, or your mom listened to, or singers? What were some early influences for you?
I was a huge Taylor Swift fan when my dad like put on I think a performance of hers when I was like 4 years old, and I was like, I want to do that. And
Yeah.
then like, and I was pretty obsessed. I was pretty obsessed for a while, and then I kind of got. I don't know. I really, and then I read a couple. You know what actually did it though? Is I read the like oral history, post punk, not post punk, punk like history of the book Please Kill Me,
Hmm.
about you know, the punk movement in New York and CBGBs, and that kind of introduced me to a lot of bands that I didn't know about and became interested in, and writers and poets and junkies and different kind of world that I was, that I grew up in. It was interesting to read about like downtown in my own city.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, for you, like, what's your experience? Because I mean, obviously, like you think like the New York punk scene, like the '70s, '80s. I mean, you got all these kind of like a lot of iconic bands, obviously Ramones and New York Dolls and that kind of stuff. And Lou Reed is kind of, I guess, synonymous with that. But did you feel like that was still, how is that scene nowadays? Is that still like a thing? I mean, I know that I imagine it's underground, but what is New York City like? What is the music scene like there these days?
It's pretty great, actually. I have most of my friends are musicians, and we all, I don't know, we all play shows together. We're all like, we're all in it. It feels
Hmm.
very much, I don't know. It's a really great culture in New York, the music scene. It's really fun, I would say. I
Now
don't know
you
I don't know how it compares to back then. I don't think anyone's doing heroin.
well, that's good. Okay, that's a the cities was cleaned up. I don't know. So like, are you still in Manhattan? Is that where you live now, or still
Yeah.
same kind of area?
I live in the East Village, so farther
East
down.
Village. Down, do you know? We had a guy, an engineer, Mark Urselli, on one point. Do you know East Side Sound there?
No, I don't.
Down in that area, but I'm sure there's like a gajillion studios there. So what about so places to play in New York? What are some cool spots?
Well, there's like Mercury Lounge, like Bowery Electric. God, don't make me list venues right now.
Are you are these like are you playing more of the kind of like divey punk rock places? Are you playing bigger venues, or is just kind of a combination of whatever?
Whatever I can get, whatever crops up. There's a new venue that opened nearby me called Nightclub 101 that's been really cool. And then that's Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in Brooklyn there's like Baby's All Right and like Alphaville and TVI. There's like they're like, I don't know, 250 cap clubs,
Mm-hmm.
They're like all really cool places. I haven't played all the ones that I just listed, but like I've I've been to shows at all those places.
Now, when you play, do you do like? I mean, you have a band, but do you also do like solo? It sounds like because you're more like when you're writing, it's probably like you're the core songwriter, like maybe an acoustic guitar or piano, and you write like that, and then take it into a studio or work with a producer. Tell us about like the how it's been from your first single when you started writing and recording to now, like the new album in terms of recording, who you work with, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. I started writing, yeah, it's basically kind of what you said. I mean, that's kind of how the songs that I'm proudest of happen.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll go in the studio and like have like kind of a semblance of an idea. And for about a year now, I've been working with my guitarist who's in my band. He's also a fantastic producer. His name's Richie. Sometimes I'll have it go in with like some sort of idea and we'll like flesh it out together. But most of the time I'll have like, I don't know, a riff and a verse and maybe a chorus, or like, it's always better that way, because otherwise if I just go in and I'm like, okay, let's make something, it's much more like we're trying to
Yeah.
sound like me, and I'm like, I can't like come up, it feels like I can't come up with something for me. It's hard for me to work like that
Hmm.
because I'm not it's a different tool that I'm working with that I'm not as familiar with as a guitar or piano, or just like sitting alone by myself. Because then that is when I can sound like myself versus when I'm with him and we're working with um, like Ableton. It's a different landscape for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are you so when you're writing, are you just sort of grabbing ideas on do you have any kind of like DAW at your house that you record, or is it just like let me just get a cell phone idea or something like that and then take it to the studio? Like,
I mean, when I bring in an ideas, I just play them on the guitar or I just play them live. Because also like I I don't know what it is yet. It's hard. I feel like showing a recording is not conducive to what, I don't know. It's a better live. It's better live anyway. Yeah, I mean, when I'm writing, I'm literally just trying to be a good writer and like think about what I'm feeling and think about how I want to express that. And then that just amplifies when I go in the studio. And it's also about trusting yourself, because I think over the past like month or so I've been kind of freaking out about, you know, trusting the your intuition and your artist's vision. It's like kind of like, should
yeah.
I be doing this? What this worked for this person, maybe it should work for, but it's a very rocky road when if someone else is doing it, and it's not going to be authentic if you do it, because
Well, I love that. I love that you're saying that, because I'm like, anyone who knows me as a musician and doing the podcast and all the, I mean, I'm always kind of harping on that. Like, to me, it's like, genre. I think I don't know, maybe it's more just kind of open these days. It's interesting because when I started playing in the 90s, right, it was like, it felt very like cliquish. Like, you would get into something and it was like that was your identity. Like, yeah, like the metal kids and the country kids, or the right. And it's like now, and you had your favorite bands. I remember it was like, you're so proud of, like, this is my favorite band and my favorite guitar, my favorite. And it's like, now, I mean, I've been a music teacher for years, and it's like a lot of times you get kids and they're just kind of like, I don't know, whatever. Like, who's your favorite artist? I don't know. It's a lot of video games. It's a lot of, like, right now it's just like Demon Hunter. It's some K-pop thing. It's like huge. Like, all the kids, it's like the new Taylor Swift. Like, they're all asking for the same songs. Like, I've seen all the Katy Perry, the Taylor Swift, all that stuff. And no exception there, right? Taylor Swift, I mean, has influenced, I mean, so many people. It's crazy, So that's great. It's great. It makes little girls, like, get into it, want to do it, and then you kind of find other things. But yeah, to what you were saying about writing, like, my big thing is, like, I don't really care. I mean, obviously there's stuff I like more than other stuff, and there's some stuff I can't stand. But to me, it's like the authenticity of the writing. That's what matters the most. And I think it's an intangible with a writer that comes through the writing process, that hopefully comes through the recording, that comes through live. And so for me, as like an artist, like, that's the biggest thing. And your process for talking about that, I think that's so important. It's so interesting being a writer and artist, because sometimes, depending on the context, I mean, I don't know if you're you're composing or working with other people or doing sync and stuff, like, in those sorts of situations, it can be kind of weird, because it's like, I have to write this thing in this amount of time. And but I think as a typical, like, artist type, right, I mean, I don't know if you're nocturnal or whatever, but a lot of times it's like, it's not a forced thing. There's just certain times you get creative, the juices flow, the magic happens. And other times, there's nothing worse to me than, like, standing in a room, once upon a time maybe, but someone says, let's jam, and standing in a room with a 4, I'm like, no, let's not do that, please. Somebody have an idea, like you said, well, then we'll flush it out. But, like, that idea of just like, let's just make up a song together. Ugh.
no, oh my
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah,
can't.
terrible.
I like I said, I have a lot of musician friends, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, let's go," and I'm like, "You go.
Yeah.
I'll hang, but, like, I'll enjoy." But I mean, I sometimes wish I could just, like let go a little bit, and not be. I'm very precious about it, which
Mhm.
sometimes makes me, which is annoying, because it makes me overthink it, and it makes me, but I think it's like, I think for any artist who's serious about what they're doing, it's literally about the intuition and the craft, kind of trying to combine them and make them, like, make it feel like make it feel real, and express it, I hate the word accurately, because there's no, like, accurate, but it's
Right.
like, that feels true.
Yeah.
And I think, you get, I mean, you get better and better at what you're doing, but at the same time, it feels like it's getting harder and harder, because you're getting better. And I think that's a wonderful thing, but it's also sometimes it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, because I mean, I go back and there's nothing I really have recorded that I'm like, God, I'm, embarrassed about. But the process has changed, right? In terms of, like, the things, like, I try to go into it more now with less of the, polishing a turd, and more of, like, get it right on the front end. We've probably all been there, right? But that's part of, like, too, every album is like a moment in time, both of, like, stuff you were writing, what your actual composition and lyrics, and also the recording, also the sonic quality. So it's impossible to not have every batch of songs, or even every single beat, somewhat unique in their character in that sense. And that is a cool thing. But another thing you said was about, crap, we're talking about authenticity. I can't remember what it was now, but and in regards to writing, it'll come to me at some point. But yeah, so for me, like, I wonder too, like, and people always ask the question, like, oh, do you write lyrics first, do you write melodies or the music? And it's like, I'm always like, it just depends, right? It's different every time. Times it's just like, oh my God, like, a song came out and it's like 90% done, it sounds great. And other times it's like, you sit on a great
Means
riff or a verse for a couple of years. I don't know if that's like that for you.
Yeah.
and then you can't get anything. I don't like forcing things. I feel like when they come. Well, I know exactly what I was going to say. What you were saying about taking it in live, right, to your producer, your guitar player. I love that because me personally, like I like that organic quality. Like if I do a guitar solo on a demo, if I do things on a so many times, it's like I don't want to beat that to death because I'm like that came out and I'm like that's what I want it to be, right? And I'll either emulate it or maybe it's good enough on. And I use a lot of stuff from demos and I try to not overdo it because I feel like I want that magic to happen. Yeah, you need the song and you need to know what you're going to do, but I want that magic to be fresh in the studio. There's like kind of a balance there, I think, you know?
Completely agree. I mean, it's like the first time you do something is the purest, you know, the first
Right.
time you do it right. And I think there's something to maintaining that kind of eureka when
Mm-hmm.
you've got I mean like you can I mean you when on like final recording obviously you've done like you know a couple takes or done it over and over again and finally like gotten the right riff or gotten the right tone or whatever but like there is something to that like demo the live you know realization.
Maybe that's coming back and maybe it's it's contingent on style. I mean, if we're listening to like a super commercial pop song, someone asked me about some vocals on a pop song and I was like, oh yeah, I mean everything nowadays is auto-tuned and it's fine when you got that, like those drive-in dance beat, like that makes sense for that kind of music. But me personally, when I hear like pop country and I hear the auto-tune on the singer, I'm like, this is so like the opposite of what country should be, so it's like it's genre contingent, but I think that comes down to like, and I struggle with that, like the idea of like the balance between that. Or once upon a time, it's just you had to get your take, and it was organic and raw, and that's the way it was. And it's a kind of a magical thing that's been lost in a lot of contemporary music because it's so gridded and auto-tuned and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how involved you are in the mixing process or all that kind of stuff. Do you kind of just go in the studio and do your parts and then the producer sort of figures that out? Or are you there for the whole comping, all the whole thing?
In there we're working on it
Mm-hmm.
together. I mean we'll send it off then to get mixed and then have feedback and talk about it but when I'm in the studio it's like we're figuring out parts together and you know working on stuff because I mean I'll bring in the idea a lot of the time and then we'll just be like riffing on instruments and trying different arrangements and things and he'll play a you know piano part and I'll be like I really like that and then sometimes he'll like you know he'll play a part and I'll be like no keep going keep working on it and it's kind of the same it's like we're working very side by side he's working on a lot of the arranging and I'm working on like lyrics and melody and stuff and it's like the kind of same response. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that sounds sick. Or try that again, like do it a different way, or maybe put this syllable here, or maybe like move that around, or maybe get to that faster. It's like
Right.
it's a very and I think in terms of getting in the room and jamming with someone, I can't I you that relationship is developed and over like trust and like
Right.
ship and I feel like and like a symbiosis of taste and you know ideas like you have to get there. I remember we went on tour in Eastern Europe last fall, which was amazing, but I had just like gotten my band together and we were going and I remember we were in the studio right before and I couldn't make anything with him yet because I hadn't spent that like quality time getting to know him as a person, as a musician, as an artist. But then after we got back from tour, I was like, let's get the fuck in there and make some
Yeah.
because I knew him and I knew that he knew me and I
Right.
trust him to like make it feel right.
Yeah. Touring is, I mean, that, studio and touring, that's either that'll make or break a band, right? It'll either kill it or it'll make it. And I mean, once you tour, I mean, it seems like it's the reverse of the ideal. The ideal is like go tour, then you're like on fire, go in the studio and kill it. But it seems like most of the time it's like scrambling to get something together and then you go on tour and get it. But I know exactly what you mean. And like trust, that is the biggest word, I think, because for me these days it's like it's always kind of been like maybe I'll write the bulk of a song, or I've written a lot with my brother who was original member of a band that I've had for years now, and now it's like me and maybe the other guitar player. It's usually it's like one person comes in with like kind of the bigger, maybe a full song or a pretty good chunk of a song. It's like there's a verse chorus, there's no bridge, or I don't know about the array, and then the other ones kind of craft it and shows a little way, and then you take it in, and then each musician really puts on their fine touch. But that's the way I feel like I like to work. But it's got to be with people that you know. There's no ego, and I think the longer you do this, you start to see it. It's like this guy wants to insert himself into the song. Are you serving the song, or are you serving your own ego and your own amusement? And that's what's so important from a producer, from any of the players. Let the live show sort of, I think a good example of like, I don't know how much Ozzy Osbourne, obviously that's a pretty topical thing right now, but I got like, yeah, I got super into Ozzy when I started playing guitar, and like Randy Rhoads. And I think great example is the first two albums Ozzy did with when he went solo with that guitar player were like, they're great. They're great albums, but they were the tribute album that came out later after they had toured, when they were touring, is just like one of my favorite albums ever, because it's just like
You're in it.
it's so good, you know.
Really,
Like, yeah, they were just
you're like the
inside of the
odds are the
songs killing it.
same.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I mean, you're like by the end of a long run of shows, you're like, I could do. You're doing it in your sleep anyway.
Right.
So and then it's just, and it's so easy to work with each other and to get in a groove so quickly. Like it's like working out. Like you start running and you're
Yeah,
like so
right.
tired, but then after like, I don't know, a month of running, you're like so easy. And then even if you haven't run for a couple days, it's easy to get back into it after that.
100%.
So
Yeah. And a vocalist too, like that's a whole nother level of like having your voice in shape, or you know what I mean? Like all that. And then like, so tell us, like, how much have you toured? And I want to hear about that Eastern Europe tour, and then the band. So kind of like, what was the band roster? Yeah, what's up with all
yeah.
that?
So that was my first ever tour, and so far last. I haven't toured since.
That's a pretty amazing way to kick
I
off
know,
your touring
start.
career.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really know how that happened, but apparently, like I like people like really responded well to the music over there, which was really awesome. And we did like we did like some club shows, and then I opened for a band that was touring in Prague and Switzerland, and I played 3 shows with them, I think, or I think it was only 2 maybe, but it was a band called Leap, and those shows were really fun because I was playing like 500 cap venues, which was the at the time biggest venues I've ever played, and it was just like the energy was great. Uh, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a crazy because it was like because it was my first one ever, and we were like, taking trains and had to lug our gear everywhere, and I don't know, it was my first ever touring experience, and it was amazing. And sometimes I think about it, I'm like, damn, I miss it, but also if I were to when I go on tour again, I wouldn't do it that way.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a unique situation to go right out the gate, go into Europe, because I mean, you gotta, I don't know if they had backline stuff here and there, or you guys, what, obviously the amount of gear you can take is kind of minimal. And it's, unfortunately, I've never toured Europe. I know I have friends that have, and, I mean, I think as an American, like, it's just one of those things you so bad want to go tour another country, but
Yeah.
logistically it's difficult. So how many dates did you do on that tour? Do you know?
Um, I think it was like 10, something like
Okay.
that. Like not a huge, it wasn't a huge tour, but it was like maybe 3.5 weeks.
Wow. And that was like mainland Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
No,
killer.
we had some other shows scheduled, but then they fell through, and then we had like a couple days in Berlin, which was really interesting because it was like fall, so it was like weird weather. It was a crazy time.
Weird weather, like not pleasant weather,
Yeah,
or
like cold and
rain.
dreary.
Yeah, right. Like England. What is your band when you do play shows? Is it always the same? Is it like contingent on who can do what when, or how does that work?
It's me, my guitarist, Richie, my drummer, Tino, and the newer addition is my bassist, Anna, who didn't come on tour with us, but she joined the band in February when I played a show with my friend Sid, who I opened up for him at a Bowery Ballroom, which was so fun. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it would be really nice if we could, if sort out. Sorry, there's a cat. My bad.
I heard that. Yeah. Now I saw it.
And it would be really nice to be able to accommodate who can play a show versus who can't play a show. It's hard to
Right.
schedule stuff a lot of the time. But yeah, that's my setup, and we use tracks because a lot of my music is sort of synthy and
Right. Yeah.
ethereal, and there's like background vocals, and I'm actually we're working on a new way to perform just because the I want to use the tracks, but the tracks in venues here have been quite overpowering, and the
Mm.
mix is off, and it just like, and I want it to be more. I want it to be more band centric rather than like this is what you're supposed to be hearing. It's like I don't need it to sound exactly like the recording.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. Like tracks are cool, but sometimes if they're dominating, like I've heard that before, where you have a singer and you're like the main vocals kind of swallowed up amongst all the
Such a
reverby
shame.
tracks, and
It's
it's
a
like,
shame because it could be a really good song, but
yeah,
it's kind of ruined by like yeah, the bad mix.
right, yeah, and I mean, unless you have your own sound person, right, it's kind of is what it is, and especially when you have the smaller clubs, you have a lot of bands on the bill, and they're kind of in and out. And in New York, I mean, I've only played, I mean, I've played New York a few times, but like Brooklyn exclusively, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole different thing there. Like there, it's like you're like they don't even bring your drums, right? Don't they just kind of like want as much backlined as possible? So you're kind of always, yeah. So yeah, definitely a different situation. But yeah, do you know a place called Lucky 13 in Brooklyn? That's the I think I played there once. Gosh, have I only played I think I've only played one rock show in New York City proper, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Ed and Lucky 13. It's been a while. But there's another band that I write with and I've done a few soundtracks with and I was touring with, but I'm not touring this year. But if you get a chance, check out this band called the Invincible Czars. They actually it's silent film accompaniment, like it's original scores played to these old iconic silent films. And so it's the 100-year anniversary of Phantom of the Opera right now, so they're touring on that, and they always do Nosferatu, and I think they've got like 2 shows in Brooklyn, usually at the Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn. But yeah, I recommend, it's a fun show, it's cool.
How do you spell SARS? I don't know how to
See, there's a couple ways you can spell it, but this is CZARS.
see.
Yeah, Invincible Czars.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, okay, what about your so you kind of got a consistent team in terms of the writing, your producer slash guitar player, you got your band. It's cool. It seems like you've got a pretty good, like, solid unit, right? And that's been working.
Yeah. No, they're great.
What about the videos? Is it the same there? Do you have like a go-to videographer, or trying out different people?
I like having working with different people just because it's a new perspective. I mean, I think when I do an actual full album, I'll in terms of videos, I'll work with one person to make it, cohesive and like maybe like build a storyline, but that's, a little bit down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm kind of exploring. I love working with friends, and I love working with because I know a lot of filmmakers and actors and photographers that are really talented. So I don't know, I'm very enthusiastic uh about working with people that I know that that are exciting about. I'm
Right.
excited about the work that they're doing, and I'm very glad that they're willing to work with me because it's validating in my art that someone I admire in their field likes what I'm doing enough to work with me.
So do you usually find, like, like you said, they're friends, but are like they're people that you like you've seen it somewhere and then you reach out to them, or is it just kind of an artistic community that you've sort of?
Times. Most recently, I filmed a music video last week with a friend of mine who I saw her short film screening at the Roxy, which is a movie theater downtown in Soho. But I like we've been friends for a while. We've hung out, and at some point, I asked her if she would do it, and she was like, "I don't know. I'm busy. I'm shooting a feature." But she reached out. She reached out a couple weeks ago, and we managed to pull it together. And I have some other friends that are going to be in it, and that are in it. But it needs to be edited and made, and I don't think it's coming out for probably a couple months.
Is this, I'm assuming, one of the songs on the album, or the upcoming EP rather?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
And she was someone that I already knew, but I had seen her work, and it was kind of exact. I mean, sometimes it's like I don't know. Sometimes it just happens, and it's really great, and you're really excited about what you're doing. And then I'm going to tomorrow. I'm going to Paris to
Wow.
to do like a showcase and shoot another music video with a guy who I found on Instagram. He followed me. We have some mutual friends, and then I like followed him back and looked at his work. He's a really great photographer, and I noticed that he did music videos too. And so I reached out and I was like, "Would you want to work on something?" And he was down, and so we're working on something.
That's awesome. Wow. Very cool. Now, you played France on that tour. Did you play Paris, or have you been there before?
No, I've been to Paris. I'm trying to like start more of a network there because I love it there, and I think that I don't know. I think I can do some damage there. So yeah, no, we didn't go there for the tour. It was basically, where did we go? We went to a lot of cities in Germany, and we went to Prague and Vienna and Switzerland, and yeah,
Really, really cool.
it was fun. I think I had never been to any of the cities that we went to before, which is awesome.
Have you been around the U.S. much?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in LA for about a year, and I drove there and
Mm.
back. So I mean, not an extensive like you know trip in that we spent a lot of time in each city. Yeah, driving through is more than I have ever done before.
What part of LA did you live in?
I lived in Echo Park.
Okay. And was that music related too, or modeling? Because you also do modeling.
I mean, I've been sort of dabbling in modeling. I actually haven't really done anything with that. I just like I thought about it for a while, and then because it's like it's a good way to get exposure, and it's a good way to um yeah, make connections as well. But no, I moved to LA for for music, but I had just graduated from high school when I moved, and I didn't want to go to college. So all my friends were going to college, and I didn't want to stay in New York. And I wanted to kind of jumpstart my life by moving across the country and trying to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
which was great. It was a great idea, and I did that, but I didn't like LA very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that I wasn't gonna stay for a long time, but I learned a lot, and I was really happy to come back and kind of rediscover New York.
Mm-hmm. I had a similar experience. I was out there, early 2000s, and then I met a great guitar player. I went to school out there for a little bit, music school, and then I was over in England, bounced around. But yeah, it really made me appreciate. When I came back to Austin, and this city's grown and changed so much, but I really appreciate it. It was funny because I had never really been. I mean, I've been to England, I've been like to Canada, Mexico, but like I haven't really been like all over Europe or anything like that. And been around, a fair amount of the U.S. at this point. But back then, I mean, I hadn't been to that many places except for I always ramble about this stuff. My dad, when we were kids, he's a history professor, a big history buff, so we got drug around to Civil War reenactments as children. So I had kind of seen that whole East Coast kind of which I love it. I love Pennsylvania and like upstate New York and Virginia, like really beautiful areas. But I don't know if you've been to the Pacific Northwest, but it's hard to top that too. It's so beautiful up there.
I have family who lives in Seattle,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so I spent some Thanksgivings there and Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. Really beautiful, just a long freaking way from everything. That's the only problem with those places. It's so far. I'm like, oh, I want to go to Seattle. It's like, All right, it's like a million miles from San Francisco still, but yeah, I lived in LA, and I think I felt the same way. Like it's cool, it's good to go out there, but it was just like I like living here better, and there's a lot of things. And then when I had never been to New York, so after all that, I came back to Texas, and I went to New York for the first time for like New Year's in like 2004 or five, and I was just like, as like a guy who'd never been into New York, I was just like, LA's stupid. You say New York, there's just nothing like. I was like, oh my god, it was like I was such a tourist dork, just like the first time I went to LA, like on the Hollywood, the stars on Hollywood. And then you live there and you're like, all right, it's a star. Get out of my way, people.
Yeah. I mean, even me having grown up here, I'm like, I definitely like look at people that are amazed, but I'm like, ugh, lame. But I can't really blame them. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a crazy place to live and a crazy place to exist. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know there's a part of me that's like, I wish I would have moved there for like done what you did with LA, like just gone there for a year. I don't know what I would have done or how I'd have. So I'm like a big comedy fan too, and New York is just so great.
It's the
Austin,
best place.
it is, and I mean Austin's actually killing it. Austin's is a
Really?
really hot bed for
Okay.
comedy right now. Yeah, like, well, I mean Joe Rogan came here and opened up a comedy club. It's like a really good comedy club. But there's a lot of great comics here, and there has been for a long time. But yeah, I mean New York. I mean, me going up there, and I had never seen stand up or anything either in like Dangerfields, and I got super lucky and got into Comedy Cellar, and like Chris Rock was performing. It's just like, I remember my buddy from England was like, what? It's like, I know, dude. Like, it's just this is a nightly. They're like, oh yeah, Chappelle was here yesterday, and like,
I saw Chris Rock walking down the street the other day.
really? Does he live in that area? Like, I mean, I guess he lives in Manhattan somewhere.
Yeah, I think he lives in like Soho area.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because that's
where I was walking.
And Comedy Cellar's like right there, right? Isn't it in Soho, or it's in that area?
It's close by. It's like a little bit above. It's in It's in Greenwich Village.
Right. Okay. Cool. Which is
right around Washington Square Park.
Right, and that's pretty south, right? That's pretty close to like not Battery Park, but down kind of the financial district.
The very end, like financial district,
all the way, yeah.
They're like all the way at the bottom, and then this is like a little bit farther up.
Now, were you even born when 9/11 happened?
No.
So wild, man.
I know. I walked by the like ground zero when 9/11 was when September 11th passed, and they had the lights, and they're not even shining from ground zero, which feels.
What do you mean? What is this? I'm lost.
So sorry, I need to explain. When it's like the week of 9/11, they have these like kind of searchlights that represent the Twin Towers, and they don't shine from where the Twin Towers were. They shine like a block over.
Well, did they build the Freedom Tower like on ground zero though?
Oh no, it's like next to it. But so they have like a memorial.
Right, I've been to the memorial. Yeah, right.
And
okay.
And then the searchlights they're like over there, and everyone's supposed to believe that that's. Anyway, it bothered me. I was like, this is a lie. Everyone's lying.
Okay, that's interesting. That's something I'd never heard before. It's a New York thing, I guess, to know. But
I mean, I didn't know it before here.
It's so bizarre, you grow up with this. Of course, when I was growing up, there was like New York. Well, like New York, I guess, was known to be pretty bad in the 70s, and then Giuliani came in, and the whole thing goes, it got cleaned up right in the 80s, 90s, whatever, blah blah blah. But I mean, so I had never been there, and me being not really small town, but kind of sort of small town Texas, it was like big city, crazy New York, that kind of. There was people. The first time I went there was a guy like my friend who was real adventurous traveling. She's the one that put it all together, and could ask another like couple, and the guy was like, New York, I don't want to get stabbed. I'm like, yeah, this is like, it's like, dude, that can happen anywhere, man. It's big city, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some like alleyways you don't want to walk.
Yeah, there's definitely places you don't want to go.
Just you'll get scared. You'll get scared.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in. Huh?
Sorry, I was gonna ask. Are you from Austin?
I'm originally from San Antonio, but then like moved to a small town and another place called College Station. I'm sure you've never heard of, and maybe I don't know, but I mean, when I came back to Texas, I was like, if I'm going to live in Texas, I feel like Austin's the place to be. Austin's just such a great hub of just culture and musicians, and it's just exploding, and it has been for years.
I've only been there once, and it was for South by last year.
Okay, yeah, I figured you might have been down for that.
Yeah, but I kind of ended up, it was kind of a crazy trip for a lot of reasons, but I ended up hanging out with a lot of the people that I hang out with here because everyone was there
Right, right.
and playing their shows and screening their movies, and
What
it was
kind of
great.
what kind of sucks about South by is like the music part of it's just being fizzled out. Like
Yeah.
that used to be the thing. It was all about the music, and when we it was just we'd play like gig, it'd just be gigs everywhere all week or the whole week, right? Different bands and every day and all that kind of stuff. And then now it's really about film and tech, I think. So I don't know what the future of the music scene is here, but I know so many people have been to Austin for that and no South by. Yeah, but New York, oh man, I can't. I'm trying to think. Well, I guess I was there a few years ago on a tour. I know, I love it up there though. It's so cool. It's just like, another thing I love about New York, and like it's the only thing I feel like, especially in the post-COVID world, nobody stays open anymore. New York, if I want to go get, I'm a night person. If I want to go get a burger at 4 a.m., I can do it.
I
And
mean, it would be a little difficult. I mean, a bit easier than in other cities for sure.
I mean, it might not be advised to just go one to the streets at 4, but that's the thing. It's like I mean, there's, like you said, there's dark little corners. There's been some times I'm on a subway like, yeah, but there's also parts that you can be out at 4 o'clock in the morning and there's people everywhere, right? So
Yeah, totally. I mean, if it's the weekend, if it's, I mean, there's, yeah, if you're in the right neighborhood, it's really funny because if you're like uptown on a Tuesday night at like 11, it's sleepy. But if
mhm,
you're downtown on a Tuesday night at like 3 in the morning, if you're in the right spot, like it's loud, it's happening.
right.
There's people, there's dancing, there's drinking. It's great.
Yeah, and I love that, and I don't feel like any other city has that except for Vegas. And
Really?
I'm not really a
Well,
Vegas. I
that's
think
that's party shit.
that's the party city, right? Vegas can be a cool place to play, I guess, but I've heard like a lot of places, a lot of cover bands and tribute
I mean,
bands. Are you like is New York like Austin and I think a lot of other places? Is it just like tribute bands out the ass?
I've never seen one.
Really?
I mean, maybe I just am not tapped into
Maybe
that.
you're not tapped into that. Well,
Maybe
so
I should. I?
no, no, good. You keep making original music. This has become my new thing. I'm all like harping about it because there's so many tribute bands. I'm like, I started a festival a few years ago, and like now I'm all about trying to push the original thing because I mean, you know, no, I get it. It makes money. It's cool. You get to play for a crowd, but
It's. I mean, as someone who loves karaoke, like it's fun to play other people's songs because there's not like you're not putting your heart on. It's easy, you
yeah.
know.
Well, I love it, and I mean, I might our band, covers songs all the time because we cover all kinds of genres, and that's what makes it fun. And I do solo gigs, and every now and then maybe have you ever thought about recording like a cover song or like making it your own? Are there any songs you ever thought about doing?
I've never done it, but there's a video that like blew up on my Instagram of me covering Save Me by Amy Mann.
Okay.
And like my friend who's a musician, he was like, "You should record that and put it out. People would love that." And I was like, "Maybe I should. I haven't yet, and maybe I will." But
Yeah.
it's not a priority for me.
Right. 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 Yeah. I mean, now have you played in your band? Have you ever played a cover song, or have you always do originals?
Yeah, totally. I mean, on the tour, we were playing "There She Goes" by the Laws.
Well,
We
I
were
don't
doing
know that.
the Sixpence None the Richer version. The
Oh,
there she goes again. That's
okay.
you don't
How
know that?
would well when you said the wait, they didn't write it though? That's a cover?
I think Sixpence None the Richer covered it.
Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I know that band.
Yeah. I think when I on tour, I thought that was the original version, and then that the Laws covered it, but no, the six.
Okay,
So I
interesting.
would introduce the song, being like, "This song was by Sixpence None the Richer, made famous by the Law." No, it was the other
Other
way.
way around. That's the power of a power of a great cover, though, right? I mean, that bands kind of make it their own. It just reinvents itself. I think
Totally.
there's a lot of songs, I guess, that you hear the song and you love it, and you go back and go, oh, let's. And I especially like sometimes it's cool to do the song kind of as is, but other times like I've only like recorded I think one cover on their very first album, which was a 7-song like yours, like just on the verge of right EP to album. It was the drummer's idea, and we did a Bjork cover, which was super cool because it's like super different than you wouldn't think like a hard rock band, right? So we kind of did a rockin' version of this Bjork tune, and then but it was totally different, obviously, than her version. And then this year, actually, we just, it's not released or anything, but like we just recorded a Tool song. We did that one kind of more true to it. So I mean, it can work either way, but I think it's like, I do think doing covers, and this is nothing new. Obviously, you go back to Beatles or anybody, right? There was like a lot of covers in these bands. I'm just stuck in the difference between like here, it's like you're like, okay, I want a book. Okay, tribute band, tribute band, tribute band. Where's the holes where we're not filled with tribute bands?
Yeah.
Right. But it sounds like it's cool to hear because I mean, you don't have any perspective when you don't live anywhere. You hear like, oh no, CBGB closed, and what's the New York scene like? But it sounds like, according to you, there's a lot of good things happening. There's a good, vibrant scene.
No one would complain if CBGB's reopened,
Right.
But like,
Did you ever go there? Because when did that close?
oh, I wasn't alive. I think it closed in like 96 or something.
Really? Shit. I thought it was later than that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it like the glory days were the like 70s, but
Sure.
yeah.
Back to 9/11. Let's get positive.
Let's talk about 9/11.
Yeah, just a whole podcast about 9. I mean, you weren't there, but I mean, your parents. It just
Yeah.
seems. I feel like it's a different perspective for New Yorkers, period. And I think it's different for people like myself who were alive when it happened. Right? There's just certain moments in history that happen, and everybody remembers where they were. And like for my generation, that was the Pearl Harbor, right? The Kennedy assassination, that kind of stuff. For you, you're not there, but I mean, I would think being from New York, what is this general sentiment? Because I mean, nowadays it's a lot different. A lot of conspiracy theories. A lot of people seem. I mean, obviously we're in a very polarized political climate and all that. I don't want to get like super into politics, but do you feel like, as a general sense, I would assume like there's a lot of like, what is it like being in New York on 9/11, 25 years after the fact? I guess.
You know what? It's actually so interesting. I was having this conversation with someone like around 9/11. And it was with my guitarist Richie. He was talking about because he was alive, and he was saying that there's so many jokes about it now. Like
Yeah.
everyone loves to joke about 9/11. Everyone loves to make it a punchline. Everybody is like, and I was talking to him about it, and it's an interesting topic because he was like, it's not like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the butt of a joke. Like I think there's some. It's like there's. I don't necessarily think you can't make light of a horrible situation or a horrible moment in history, but I think people, and I think because of the whole, the I don't know. I don't want to claim to know anything and get it wrong, but
Mhm.
the way that it all came about afterwards with Bush, it was people thought that they could make fun of it now because of, I don't know, not being alive. I don't know how to, talk about it because I didn't experience it. But I don't know. But he was like, it's crass. It's dumb
Mhm.
to think that you can just talk about it because I don't know. Like,
Well, I
what?
there's been times I got to tell you, like, so we're over the 100 mark now, but like we're this podcast, right? I feel like when we started, my partner and I started it during COVID, and it was just like nothing to do, right? We were having like 2 guests a week and just shooting the shit, and it's kind of grew into a thing where we've had people all the world. It's great because I mean I get to meet all these artists, and by the way, I want to do a playlist with you about influence and stuff. We like always like to do a playlist, but I mean, there's been times like when it was like all the COVID stuff, especially, I'd kind of start going off on the political stuff a little bit, and I'm just like, I don't want to be the guy. But there has been times where I'm like, I kind of want to do episodes that are political. Like, don't worry, I'm not trying to turn this into a political podcast,
It's
but where
okay.
not so much because it's like for the complete opposite reason of what like most people, right? It's like I don't want to sit here and try to like one up you and tell you, meaning anybody, right? And this is why you're wrong, and it's got to be this, all this left, right, everything pitted against each other, so polarized. And I think like that, coming back to your point, I think that's the bigger problem, that, and it's just kind of astounding, like the Charlie Kirk assassination, horrific thing that happened with that poor girl,
Yeah.
and God, and right on the heels of that, the Charlie Kirk assassination. And me personally, and I think most people feel this way, but it's just And I don't know if you were aware of those. There was some really awful, horrific flooding in Texas over the July 4th weekend. And right off the bat, on all these instances nowadays, you just see people getting online and just going for the throat, like political agenda. And I'm like, my God, man, can we not just be human beings a little bit, have some civility and some capacity? I think that's my big thing. And so I think that's what's been lost, right? Because everything is so like agenda based, and well, going against something because it's not aligned with some people. It's like, can we just acknowledge that people died here, and like this is sacred, a sacred thing, and
It's so easy to have an extreme opinion on the
yes,
internet and have like no consequences except for some people yelling at you in the comments. Like there's not like
that's it.
that's it. Like versus like you're at like a dinner table or at a party and you're, talking your shit and you say something extreme, people are gonna like
Right.
you and make it's like it's a totally different
Yeah.
experience being on the
And
internet.
you're, yeah, in your generation, this is the world you've always known. Like I came in that cross generation that like bridged the gap between the two worlds. And what now it's like what used to just be like the obnoxious, crazy drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Like now that's every time you get on freaking social media, you got to deal with like thousands of these people.
You kind of get rewarded for
Yes, you do. It's
because you get
awful.
all
And
the attention.
you know this better than anybody as an artist. That's what's so frustrating. And I don't know what your experience is, but right. Oh, hey, everybody, here's a song I worked really hard on and did this and that. And then you put it and the algorithm buries that song and you get hardly any track. But boy, as soon as I go ape shit over, something political because I'm a human and I get riled up too, not too often. I try to stay off that shit. But it's all of a sudden it's blowing up and I'm the most popular guy in the universe. And I was just like, man, this sucks. Like, people who will never in a million years have come, they never went to a show, never buy a piece of music. Not that they owe me that or anything, but it's like, boy, the second I have a political opinion, they come out of the fucking woodworks. It's like it sucks. I think we do live in a culture, and I think it started with the sort of the the reality TV stuff, and the where it's all about me, and ooh, gotcha, all that kind of behavior, the Jerry Springer type behavior, instead of like civility to other freaking people. And it's really obnoxious.
Also, everyone's an activist now.
Everyone's a fucking activist. Yeah.
Everyone has to be in the right. Everyone has to call out people for their behavior. Everyone has to like say something, otherwise they're in the wrong and they're can't. It's like the whole like I don't know. People love to be on the right side all the time, and I think instead of actually having any, there's no nuance anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. And good for you for being a younger person and being like, oh, nuance, what do you know, right? Oh, maybe I should have an educated opinion.
Yeah,
And
maybe read the article. I don't know. Maybe not just
right, I mean, yeah, it's just clickbait. Oh, rah, it's like, did you really, all the stuff, right? We all know this sound bites that aren't representative, and all that kind of I mean, we're seeing the propaganda everywhere, both sides. But yeah, I just think uh my ADD brain just like went off the rails now.
I
But
feel you. I'm with you.
as an artist, that's another thing I was going to say. What I think makes it even now, it's gotten even more strange because now we're dealing with AI. And I think what's happening now, I started noticing all these like long, like 4-hour documentaries on YouTube. And part of me was like, wow, this is super cool. I'm going to watch a 4-hour documentary on World War One. And then I get like 8 minutes in and fall asleep. But it's like, it's all got to be AI though. It's just some old British dude, so it sounds legit. But I feel like, I mean, not that there's not legit stuff, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of things now are AI. We know it, we're seeing it everywhere. So now it's almost that extra sort of like, wait a minute, where's the AI getting its information? Because that's gonna. I feel like I can tell in certain language that there's like a little bit of an angle. You know what I mean? Like not like catastrophic, not like super propagated, but it just feels like it's like, oh, like I feel like I want things just factual and true. Like just everything that bored me to death in school, like I want that so bad now. Like what are the facts? Like I just want to know, how do we find out what the facts are anymore? Like it seems like it's all just
Yeah,
hearsay and
you don't know you need the water until the well runs dry.
yeah, right. So I think it's kind of an interesting time, and I don't know with someone like you and your generation, like What are your thoughts just in general on, I mean, AI's here, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be a part of our lives regardless. But as a musician, I mean, obviously I have my opinions on it. What are your opinions on AI and music and the way it's affecting music, people creating songs with AI? What is your thought on all that?
God, I I don't know. I don't know because obviously it's going to have an effect because it's a new technology. How could it not?
Right.
But I don't know what that really looks like, you know. I mean, wasn't they I mean for sometimes it's good, I guess. Sometimes I mean the Beatles released their like old single with AI with trying to get John Lennon's voice and it won a Grammy, right? And like that was I feel like that's fine. I mean, I don't know what I have no idea what my like morals are with that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
hasn't been around for that
Right.
long and no one's I mean, I'm sure people will, but no one's like like no one's really testing or crossed the boundaries of like what is okay in that I've seen
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, and we've all been using, these tools for years and years and years now with the digital age and auto tune and
Yeah.
all, kind of. I remember the first time I heard, oh, the future of music, this is probably in the 90s or something. The future of music is, and it was just such a like, what? No, music is linear. That was still like crossing into the digital age, but you thought of tape and you recorded, right, a linear thing, and you had to cut the right. And it's like, no, and you could move, and that's how, yeah. I mean, that's, oh yeah, cool. Let's extend that. Let's do a double chorus. Let's move that here, and you're just moving everything around in the
Yeah,
digital realm,
yeah,
Ableton and Pro Tools or whatever. So it's not like that, but there's a difference, I think, but from a human being making those decisions and using all these plugins and these things as tools. And someone, what concerns me is like when someone's just like, oh, I'm gonna write a song, and they just type in country song, here's my lyric premise, or here are my lyrics, and I want it to sound like this. And then like AI, boom, there's a song, and it sounds like a professionally, modern pop or country song, but it's like, you didn't write that song, you just gave AI parameter. That's where I'm like I have issue with it, and I hope that legal, laws will prevent that.
to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, that's good. I mean, I don't know if it'll replace I kind of like to think, I mean, human beings are pretty resilient, even with all the shit we get ourselves into. I'd like to think that what we came back, what we were talking about in the beginning, that just authenticity of an artist and a human, you're relating to that person, you're relating to that person's soul. Like it's beyond what AI will give you. So hopefully, I feel like that is still going to carry on and make sense. And maybe it'll be a big push, maybe there'll be a big push back to that kind of anti
I mean,
AI and
I
polished,
think there already is. I think that
Yeah.
I mean also just baseline how it affects the environment, how it's not like how it just is using all this energy is already bad. But I think with AI art, I think I'm not concerned about that because I know that no one else can write the songs that I write, let alone a machine, and I can't write anybody else's songs as even as much as I might wish I could. I like I just I don't think that there's no work, there's no soul, there's no like introspection, there's no questioning, there's no pondering, there's no flaws. It's like it's so uninteresting.
Right.
It's so it's so one dimensional, and that's the whole opposite point of art for me is I mean it's exploring. You have to explore, and that's not what AI does.
Right.
It already knows. So it's already like, oh, you wanted this? Here it is on a silver platter. It like there's the whole reason that art is interesting is kind of how you got there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's no journey at all. Yeah. It's just, and there's your destination in the, quick microwave. Well, cool. So do you have any plans when this comes out? Do you have any shows coming up or any tour plans? What's going on? What do you have planned for the rest of this year and going into 2026?
So I'm going to Paris and I'm playing like a showcase for like in a guitar shop. It's gonna be a small show. It's not like a big advertised promotional show.
Is this just you or is the whole band going?
It's just me
Just you.
playing
Okay.
guitar and just playing through the EP and a couple of other songs and first I guess industry folks and journalists and stuff and friends, which will be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm kind of anxious about it, but I keep telling myself that if I had told myself that like my 2 years past self that I was doing this,
Yeah.
I'd feel like that's amazing. So I'm good. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then when I get back, I'm currently trying to schedule a release show for either the end of October or beginning of November. I think I fucked up and that I should have been planning ahead a little bit more, but we're working on it now and it's coming together. We've got like an opener that I'm excited about, and yeah, just got to get into rehearsals.
Right. Logistics. Always. Yeah. Cool. And I mean, I feel like I saw something somewhere that, I mean, you've been writing since you were 10 and you've written a lot. You've got a lot of songs that you've written that obviously aren't recorded out yet. Do you have like, cool, I've already got a whole nother album, or it's like, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff, but I want to write new stuff. Like what is your headspace going into like the next batch of songs, or do you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, it was really interesting, and I'd been kind of in a creative funk for like a couple months, maybe 2 months or so, like having finished the EP and like, not really knowing what I wanted to make exactly, or if I was how I was supposed to be moving forward with that. And if I was supposed to know already, if I was, if I was doing my job wrong. But I don't know. I do have a lot of don't look back on songs that I've written really, unless I accidentally discover them, because I don't think that any of that stuff is what I'm making the stuff I want to make now. And I think that was that. I think a lot of the stuff I've made in the past is me trying to figure it out.
Like all your like 100 songs of you trying to sound like Taylor Swift, and then
100 songs of me trying to sound like Taylor Swift, 100 songs of me trying to sound like Leonard Cohen, 100 songs of me trying to. It's like
yeah,
just it's all very like I'm learning. I'm
right.
learning. I'm still learning. Now it's me trying to sound like Radiohead. I think it's me getting more in tune with who I like with who I want to be as an artist and how my intuition plays into the craft and what I've learned.
And this obvious like from a writing standpoint, for me personally, as someone who started fronting a band, I mean, I kind of sang it, it covers them, but I was never like a singer who was just like, oh wow, I've got a great voice and I sing. It took me years to, not that I couldn't sing some, but to develop, to really find my voice, my style, know where I'm confident, understanding that it took me a long time,
You have to
and to where I feel like I'm a pretty confident singer. But for you, as because you started like the first thing you did was sing, right, before any other instrument, was your voice always? Did you always feel like you kind of knew your voice, or have you been finding your not like from a songwriter, but your actual voice?
I think I always knew. I mean, I kind of it's just like what comes out of my mouth, for me. But also it's always developing. I want to be able to do things that I can't do with my voice, and I take voice lessons, and I think also the live show is a huge challenge for a singer, because you're moving around and you want to sound good and you want to it's a lot
Very different.
on,
Yeah.
and you can't hear yourself, or if you have any it's like a whole
Yeah.
gymnastics, you
Yeah.
have to get used to. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like I know, right? I was like just with a guy, a good friend I've done piano lessons with for a few years, and he's doing guitar now, and he's like, man, I'm trying to play standing up, and should I do, I'm like, just don't even worry about that. Just that's like another level, like, okay, do this, and then you gotta like get used to playing standing up, and then if you're gonna sing, you gotta get used to how to sing and the pedal dancing, and that it goes on and on and on, and then at a certain point you just kind of develop, comfort levels with certain things. But you're so right in that. I think the biggest thing from just any instrument, but really from vocals, because I feel like if you go too long, and I can tell, like if I'm on a tour, I'm well warmed up, I feel so comfortable going to a show. But if it's been a while and I go start singing in my car, I'm like, oh shit, I can just feel myself like gassed out halfway through a set, that, you know what I mean? So
People
there's,
underestimate it. I mean,
they don't know. Yeah, it's hard. And
no.
like a lot of like pop artists that I've talked to, I forget what band we were talking about, where I think their manager, oh yeah, it was yeah, someone's manager was actually telling them that they were doing a European tour opening for Macy Gray. Geez, just had her on the show not long ago. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's who it was, and we were talking about how I think she was running on the treadmill and singing. And have you ever heard of this? Like people that go run and sing the set while you're running. And in my head, I'm like, I should do that. And of course
It's
I
like
don't,
that's like
but
pop star boot camp, you
that's
know.
pop star boot camp, right? Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't sound like until you're actually on stage, because then all of a sudden you're in the lights and it's hot and you're moving around and like
You have to
what
be
you
able
could.
to do it in like any circumstance.
Yes, yes, yeah, 100%. Cool. So let's see, October 17th. What's the name of the new EP?
Suspend.
Suspend. And what is the next song? What's the song? Is that the song you're shooting in Paris? The video?
No, no. There was actually no song called Suspend. That song got scrapped. But the EP is called Suspend.
Oh, okay.
It felt apt for the general theme of the EP and what I was feeling and what I was going through. And yeah, so we actually did have a song called Suspend, but it didn't fit. It didn't work,
Didn't make the
ironically.
cut. Like just wasn't.
Yeah, so no, we're recording the video for a song that's actually already out. It's the song Kill Her Mind.
Okay.
So things are a little bit out of order, but we're getting back on track.
I'm actually looking at this press release now. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, we've talked about this stuff. Anything I left out? Anything you want to mention?
Just, when it comes out, listen to the EP. I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of it.
No, it sounds great. I love the songs. Yeah, good job for sure. I like all your songs. I always like when I have an artist too that's kind of new, because then I'm like, oh, I can actually listen to all. I don't I'm like, oh, there's like 18 albums of music. Well, I'll listen to a couple, right? So I like with you, I was like, oh, cool. I can like just listen through. I had listened to the new EP, and then I actually went back and listened to just what you had on Spotify. Yeah, because I saw. I guess I just was like, I thought it was like your first thing, and I'm like, oh no, she's got like a pretty good amount of stuff for
No,
2
I
years
put stuff
actually.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish it was my first thing. Some of the stuff that's out, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't. Not because I'm embarrassed, just because I'm like what I said. I don't like to think about that too
Well,
much.
that's always. I mean, obviously the production's different. You're growing, you're getting better. But and I feel the same way about the stuff that I have. But I feel like the way I kind of look at my back catalog, I would look at yours. Like maybe you can hear a little different production or whatever. But there was nothing as out there that's just like, oh God, get that offline. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds good and they're good songs. You
Thank
didn't
you.
just start throwing out crap when you were 11 that was done on a tape recorder. So, but yeah, well, cool. So new EP Suspend comes out October 17th, and wow, you're going to be over in Paris. Just tell everyone the best way they can find you online.
Yeah. I am on Instagram under the name La as in LA, and then there's 5 underscores, and then Nikita Nikita. That's me. And on Spotify, I'm Nikita Lev, Lev, and I'm redoing my website right now, but it's gonna be nikitalev.com. So
And
should be live, should be live soon.
Facebook is for dinosaurs. Are you not?
I have it. I don't
Not
really
really
use
though.
it. Yeah.
What about
I
TikTok?
have YouTube as well. YouTube is Nikita Lev.
Well, yeah, and YouTube's important. You got several videos out. Are you got a TikTok?
I got a TikTok. It's the same as my Instagram. Yeah.
Do you run all your I guess you run all your stuff, right? I don't know if you have management or a team doing that kind of stuff.
I have a manager and I have PR.
Okay. Well, yeah, obviously the PR. Shout out to Prospect. And so when you're booking, was that through your management, like with a booking agent, or how does the booking work for you?
Sometimes, I mean, in New York, I'm booking a lot of my own gigs just
Yeah.
because through friends and through friends of friends and people who want to put together a show, they hit me up and whatever. But if it's like a release show or like a special showcase or whatever, it's a lot through my manager
Right. You
connecting.
don't just pick up the phone to Prague and be like, "Hey, I want to come play a show."
Yeah. Well, overseas, that was a different situation. I switched managers since then.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so that was a booking. Like she was working with a booking agency to book those shows. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, last thing, let's do a little playlist here. Tell me, so first of all, we'll do like 15, 20 songs, and songs for you. If you had to pick like 5 of your songs, what would you say?
Of my songs?
Yeah.
My favorite songs of mine. Oh God, can I look at my songs? Hold
No,
on.
you have to remember them all.
Okay, I would say 5 songs of mine. I'm gonna do the four that are on the EP, and then one other one. I really like this song called "Across the Street" from my EP that came out last year. I believed it at the time. It's the first song. It's very like
Yeah.
drivey and guitar like open tuning and kind of and romantic and kind of yeah, I'm a big fan of that song. We've never played it live as a band. I've played it live solo, but we've never played it as a band. And it's kind of a shame because it's some of my close friends' like favorite song, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should play it. But then it because it's in like a weird tuning and we haven't figured out a good arrangement for it live at this
Yeah,
point.
I know exactly what you mean. Like there's just logistical things sometimes. One thing I was going to say, you said earlier with the synths and the backing tracks, what I like about what's kind of cool, you have a cool kind of combination, like with some of those acousticy kind of stripped down folky-esque songs, but with like pop sensibility. Like pop sometimes is like a dirty, like I don't mean it like that, but like
No,
yeah,
I'm
there's like yeah, well, like, and I think that there's like an honesty and a raw, like for lack of a better word, like you know what I mean, like more of that. It's got that sort of raw, honest, folky quality, if you will, but with like sort of a pop surrounding that makes it catchy and hooky. So I think it's a cool balance of what you got going. All right, so we got your four. We're gonna put Across the Street. I might throw one more on there too, either like maybe Nowhere Bar, maybe you're very maybe Elegance, but when you're like wait, no, don't put those old ones.
I mean, I'm no one to judge. You pick your favorite.
I've already done deep was watching something. I've always heard this. I'm talking rambling to make a stupid joke, but something I saw last night was about the web, like the dark web, the deep web, and the dark web. I didn't really realize that the dark web is like some whole like network of like secret passwordy bullshit. Anyway, I was gonna make a joke that your old phone recordings are on the dark. I've already retrieved your old Taylor Swift phone recordings from the dark web. So
Put them on the playlist.
right, yeah, that's all it's gonna be is just that.
There's some incriminating stuff in there.
You'll never do so. One of the first podcasts, one of my best friends, he's when I first started, I had this $90 like primer gray chipped guitar and like this little amp, right? He didn't even have drums yet. He set up cardboard boxes with this little like broom as like a hi-hat. And he made a little like mallet like out of a screwdriver for his kick. And we have recordings of us playing. This shows like where I came from, right? Back in the old, right at that early 90s, like Enter Sandman and Smells Like Teen Spirit and that kind of stuff. Just horrifically bad, like bad timing, out of tune guitar. And so he literally still has these cassettes. And on the episode we had him on, he put a little sample of it at the end. It's freaking hilarious. It's so fucking
That's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah. So one day, like that's kind of, and I think that's a cool thing that's actually happening now. Bands do put out their like they put out their album, then they put out like an instrumental, and it's like, oh, and here's the demos, and then this. So it's
Yeah,
kind of cool. Like the fans kind of can hear that big extended, deluxe version or whatever. All right. So singers, what are some singers that who should we add to this list? Big vocalist influences for you.
vocal influences. Like Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
Like put like Cactus Tree by Joni Mitchell on there. Do you know that song?
Don't.
Really good song. And then like I don't know, to be like a little bit gritty, like Fiona Apple
Yeah, I love Fiona.
from her first album. It's a song called The First Taste that I love.
I love that song. I was like I had major crush on Fiona when she came out, and
Yeah.
title like her other like I like her first two albums. She hasn't really done a ton since. Like it's okay. Okay, I think maybe I listened to that one. I need to go back and listen to it again because you're right. That's the latest, and I haven't. I remember Extraordinary Machine. That was years ago already too. But I do need to go back and listen to her new one. But yeah, First Taste is one of my favorite Fiona songs because it's different. Like it's one of the few songs she sings in that upper register.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah, 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 yeah.
great, absolute great
So
melody. Yeah,
that's it's
cool.
like a gritty, like harsh voice.
Yeah.
It's like it's like seductive in a way, even though it's not trying to like be. It's not trying to. She's
It's
like
not trying to, but it is.
angry. She's like frustrated, but it's I don't know. It's so honest.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. No, Fiona's great. I think I wonder how she would be in person, if she would be cool or just like a nightmare,
I
like
mean,
the disturbed artist. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've watched a couple of her interviews, and she's intense, but like kind of
She
in a
is.
great,
Yeah.
like a really I don't know. She's like a like very true to herself, very true to her art, very like inspiring. She's a
And yeah, and especially it's someone that, I mean, you're not far beyond that, but like, or I'm assuming you're, I guess, early 20s, but like, the what's so cool, especially when you get people that young, right? I feel like it took me years, to really come out of my shell and find things and get a band, blah blah blah, right? Whereas she was doing this, I mean, I think whenever she won a Grammy, she was maybe 2021, if that.
yeah.
I know she was super young, and then to do that at that age, and I don't know if you're familiar with her Grammy speech from whenever title came out in '95 or whatever it was. She got up there and she just like this girl, who's barely 20 years old and wins a Grammy, gets up there and she's like, "This whole world is bullshit." And I was like, at the time, I was like, but now I'm like, man, she
But
freaking nailed it. It's just
only a 20-year-old could say that.
right, yeah, 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 yeah. So
Like
pretty cool.
only someone with that angst and that only with that like perspective of that young kind of
Yeah.
rebellion. You can't be like 40 and being like this world is bullshit. Like it's
Yeah, I know. Then you just look old and jaded, right? Like, but when you're young, it's cool. You're like, "Ooh." So yeah. And I props to her, man. Like, I think she really was nailing. Great pick. Okay, what else?
oh, do you know the album In Need of You featuring Googie? Gucci? I don't know how to pronounce it, but
I don't.
it's it's by this band Air, not the Air,
Okay.
but there's a song called Evil Keep Away, and I love it. It's a great song.
So the group is Air and the song's Evil
It's
Keep
all in
Away.
caps, yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, I gotta check that out. Don't know that one.
And then how many more you want? I
I don't
got
know. Like, well, okay, I guess we could do this. Like, what about some rock, right? What about we talked about maybe the early '90s rock stuff your parents listened to that was
yeah,
really
yeah.
influential to
Let's get
you?
into it. I don't like what kind of rock because I've got like Elliott Smith and like which
Elliott Smith's cool. Like, I haven't heard that name in a while, but I know Elliott Smith.
is that rock? That's not rock.
Eh, I
It's
don't know.
exist in the 90s. I don't think
Songwriter, I don't know.
I guess Nirvana is rock. But
Right.
that's grunge.
Yeah, grunge rock is still like okay. So I mean, Nirvana's pretty. Everybody knows Nirvana. Do you have a
Right.
particular song of?
Let me see. I mean, In Bloom probably.
Love that song. You got good taste.
Thanks. Um and then
What was what was an Elliott Smith song?
I think the song LA.
Okay.
Let me see other rock, 90s rock. Because I don't when I think of like 90s music, I don't think of rock music.
What do you think of? What did you listen to? Or not that you were there, but
I think of like Frou Frou and like Radiohead and like,
yeah, give me a Radiohead song.
there's so many.
I know. That's why I make you choose, so I don't have to.
No, 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 I'm happy to. I gotta do some reconnaissance here. Okay. Okay. This is not 90s. This is from Hail to the Thief, but Sit Down, Stand Up is one of my favorite songs. And All I Need from In Rainbows. I've got like, I don't, I it's hard to pick Radiohead songs because you want to like pick the ones that are not, for me, I'm like, I don't want to pick the ones that are like super well known.
Yeah, don't pick Creep. Right. Like everybody kind of does the
You
same.
can't really pick like Jigsaw or like Weird Fishes.
And the way they enjoy like those for me, I mean, I need to get with the program and check out the later Radiohead stuff because I loved and I have their early albums, but I've kind of like been detached. I don't even know the songs that you mentioned, but like do you know the album The Bins?
Yeah.
I want to close a set like we were doing this the other day and I was like, all right, we're gonna throw that one out. Like I think the last song on that album would just be a nice
High and Dry.
yeah, it would just be a nice set. Is that the last song on there?
I don't
The
know.
High and Dry is on that album. Yeah, is it Fade Away or something? It's just this like little guitar figure that goes over and over. It's like
It's Well, it's Street Spirit, which is the fade out.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's get a few more.
Give me another prompt. I've got some.
Let's see. What about R&B or blues, hip hop, some other genres you might have?
Do Hot Boys with a Z by Missy Elliott.
Wow. Okay.
B. It's like I just don't think of songs in terms of genre in that way these days. Like I listen to a song and I'm like, this is, I don't know. I'm much more like, I don't even know how I would categorize the way that I listen to music now.
Yeah, I think we're all just, it's all just all over the place all the time, and you'll see a link or like it's kind of,
I think the way that I categorize my music listening is probably by like decade.
Mm.
You know, let's see. Like, the song Notice Me by SZA is a really good song.
Or country or what are there any like, I mean, yeah, you just kind of listen to everything. It's not like what is it? Yeah, okay.
That's my karaoke song.
I could hear it right away. Like it was just Shania's on point.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're up there with all the proper attitude and everything.
But yeah, I've got the sass.
Pretty good. Maybe a couple more. What is something that someone might be like never expect you to listen to? Like
I don't know.
like you're a huge Closet Slayer fan. You just can't get enough.
God. I'm pretty like I would like to say I'm pretty comprehensive with a lot of my music. Like I listen to a lot of stuff. Let me see. I don't think anyone would be surprised by anything that I listen to.
What about like bands that we might not know? Like bands, friends of yours, maybe local bands. Let's do
Yeah.
something like that.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm friends with a band called Nautics. They have a song that I'm on at the beginning called Baby Girl, but baby is spelled BB by Nautics. Put that on there. And my friend Rose has a wonderful song called Now That You Know.
It's just under Rose.
Oh, sorry, Rose Paradise is her name.
Rose Paradise. And what'd you say? Now That You Know?
Now That You Know. She's got a great album out that came out this year. I recommend. She's very Americana, like sweet, beautiful voice. And let's see. I want to give you something by my friend Sid Simons. I'm trying to think of the best song that I love the most. There's a song called Toy Gun by Sid Simons.
Okay. These are all New Yorkers.
Yeah, these are all people that I know in New York. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a pretty good eclectic list of like big names that are recognizable from different periods, and also some deep cuts local artists.
I love that you asked me to shout out my friends. That's
totally
awesome.
Like that's what I love doing. I mean, I love doing that I started a music festival. I want to get to a point where I can grow it and bring in nationals. And I mean, that's one of my favorite parts about doing this is just especially when we started doing the playlist, just talking to artists and they do a playlist and I go find out all this new music I would have never heard of. Like awesome. I'm like, believe it or not, like I've gone down some rabbit holes of like some prog rock and metal. Like I actually went down a big Slayer rabbit hole, but I've also been like super into like a lot of modern pop. Like I love Lady Gaga's new album. I think is awesome. And this chick, do you know who Lola Young is?
Yeah.
I've gotten like super into her. Like I think she's just so like raw. I love it. Like her attitude. She's just like for like again, like for her age, it just feels like so.
This is
and it feels real. It feels real. I like it. It's pop, but it's like it's straight up. You know, it's kind of like that. It's kind of that Fiona thing. I feel like you feel the authenticity in it. So but yeah, cool. All right, well, I'll wrap this up. I know it's fast. It's amazing how fast these kind of go by, and next thing you know, it's an hour and a half. But Nikita, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us or talking with me, sharing your New York experience. And if you're ever down in Austin, I don't know if you'll be here for music in South by anymore, but if you ever tour through, you're ever down here, definitely hit me up. And so what I'll do is, I'll let you know when this is out and all that and the playlist. Now website's not up, but it'll just be nikitalev.com.
Yeah, it'll be up probably by the EP coming out.
Okay, great, cool. And then what was it, like LA with 100 underscores? That's your Instagram.
Yeah,
like
5.
LA 5 it's just LA 5 and then you're in Nikita or what?
Because it's like La Femme Nikita is the movie that I'm named after, and fence.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay. That
I
makes more
figure
sense.
it's like more of a nod rather than a direct reference.
Cool. Cool. Well, if people don't know how to use the Google machine and find people at this point, we can't help them anyway. I mean, just Google Nikita Lev.
I'm easy to find. You
Easy
can
to
find
find.
my Instagram through my Spotify. It'll work.
But all right. It should, yes. Everybody go check out the music. The music is awesome. The new EP drops on October 17th. And it was great having you, Nikita.
So much for having me.
All right. Hang tight. We're going to stop this. And until next time, I'll see everybody later. Eclectic Soundtrax podcast. Bye.